Mike, turn your games down.
I'm doing a mini episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's pooping with me tonight?
Boom shakalaka, it's Vincent Goodwin.
Not today. As a matter of fact, not yesterday, not tomorrow either. Chris Dobson.
Welcome back, both of you. The first time I've had both of you together.
I know. We've been doing a podcast for over 10 years over at Some of My Friends Read Comics, but never guested together on another show. So here we are.
I mean, yeah, you guessed it on my other show, but that's we weren't both guests.
I've been banned for over 10 years, but I'm coming back.
Yeah, a grand return, and then rebanning probably.
If not, then I have some I have some movies for your stupid minds, bad movie podcast that I think will get me banned again for another 10 years, saying that they're bad movies. So.
Just recommend Twilight. That movie's a lot worse.
Oh man! So 10 years ago, I was on that show to say that Batman Returns it was worthy of being on a bad movie podcast, and their audience did not like it. I have not been invited back since.
People love that movie.
I agree with him. I hate the movie, so
it's okay.
It's my fault. I understand. Yes. I understand people love it, but I find it very annoying. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Batman Returns. We're not here to talk about any movie, actually.
Yeah.
No, there's no Batman in this game either, unfortunately.
Or comic books.
No Batman. There is Mario in, I think it's volume 3 of the game.
Yes. Because, I'm supposed to introduce the game. Today we're talking about NBA Street Volume 2 from 2003, developed by EA Big and New FX. EA Sports Big. Yeah. And I personally think this is the highlight of the series. NBA Street 1 was like a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 launch title or thereabouts. But then NBA Street Volume 2 came out for all of the major systems. So it came out for Xbox Original, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. I played it on the GameCube because it had 4-player support, whereas the PS2 only had 2-player support. Maybe multi-tap, but I don't honestly know that.
Well, who actually had multi-tap?
Oh, really? You played the PS2 version, didn't you, Mike? Yeah. I'm sure it's the same, especially when you're playing single player. And Chris, what did you play when you were growing up with it?
I played, I'm trying to think. I think I played the PS2 in college when you say growing up. I was already an adult, voting for president, when yes, I was playing this game. But yeah, on this replay most recently, I got it for GameCube. I already had it for GameCube, so I just put in the mini disc rather than emulate, which was a lot of fun. I did play a little bit of multiplayer, which was a lot of fun. But yes, I mostly played single player on this replay.
I was thinking about playing multiplayer with my son, but unfortunately he is too good now, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. Because this playthrough, I used to be really good at this game, and my younger cousin, who was like, man, Vince, you're going to like smoke him. And I started playing against the computer, and I'm like, I am barely doing good on the easiest difficulty and not anywhere on the medium or hard difficulty anymore. I will not be able to beat my son, who is just like an 11-year-old wonder kid when it comes to sports video games. So, yeah. But yeah, we're playing NBA Street Volume 2. So, Chris, we went over your experience with it. My experience is that I also had it in college. I played Street 1 at like GameStop or Funko Land kiosks, whatever it was at the time. And I very much enjoyed it. And then when I got a GameCube, it was I think I got the summer of 2003. My Blockbuster had this deal where you could pay like $20 a month, and you could just rent out as many games as you wanted as long as you had one out at a time. So it was like a Netflix model, and I had a Blockbuster within walking distance. So I would just go drop off a game, check out another game. I would check out like 4 or 5 games a week just to like go through the entire GameCube library. Yeah. And NBA Street Volume 2 was like the one that I really enjoyed and played with my friends all the time. So that I ended up buying it. Also, I'm a big Spurs fan, and the Spurs won in 2003. So this is their championship era. I'm surprised to see that Tony Parker was in this game because he was a rookie and hadn't really like emerged even probably when this game was in development.
Yeah, it is, but there's no Manu, right? There's just Tony Parker.
No, because the stats I see is that it came out April 2003, which is like 2 months before the Spurs won the championship. And
right, so, yeah, it's the 2002-03. They don't know they're going based on the Lakers won the last year's championship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense, because the one teams that you do play in the Be a Legend campaign mode is the Lakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Which it's also, I mean, Kobe's on the team. So it's Kobe and Shaq. Yeah. Like on a 3-on-3, like that's a good team.
Yeah, well, and then Yao is there too. Yao got banned in my college games. We weren't allowed to play as Yao.
Yes. Yao was a rookie that season.
Oh, really? Was he? Yeah, Yao was
Yeah.
for the Houston Rockets. Yao Ming, very tall, very good blocker, and no
Right.
one was allowed to play as him.
And this is the year, I mean, NBA Street Volume 3 is finally going to introduce them because it came out 2 years later. But this is before LeBron James is drafted. So that's also the year Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh are also drafted. So like there's like multiple Hall of Fame like great players that are not available in this one that then would be in Volume 3. And then would continue to play for the next 22 years in LeBron James's case.
LeBron was busy getting ready for his high school graduation alongside me. Different states, obviously.
Exactly.
When this game came out, I did have NBA Street Volume 3 because Nintendo, bless their hearts, were trying to do everything to court third parties for this. So the next game had a NBA All-Star team of Mario, Peach, and Luigi. You can play because it's a 3-on-3 game. And I have a poster, and I still have it up every now and then of Mario dunking on Carmelo, and it's one of my most prized possessions. It's such a great poster.
Yep, I want to play. I have not played Volume 3, but just from like hearing that the Mario is in it, I want to check it out now after replaying Volume 2.
Curious. I don't know if it will happen on the show, but I am curious because I saw that too. I did play this game when I was younger. I am not a sports guy. I'm not a basketball guy at all. My basketball interest for the year is going to end probably by the time we finish this recording. So, because the Timberwolves will be out of the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. So,
no, yeah.
By the time you hear this, it's already everything's over. But yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The NBA Finals will probably be over by the time that this comes out.
It comes out next month. So yes,
there's a chance.
Because it starts usually. Well, we won't give away when this was recorded.
So a good friend of mine had this for PS2, and I remember him playing it a whole bunch, and I would watch it. I could care less about it, but I knew the game. And then, Vince, when you suggested it, I was like, I haven't touched that game in years, but I remember it being interesting.
I mean, I think that I have like a list of like my top 10 favorite games of all time. Like, just like, no questions. Like, I could play this again tomorrow. Donkey Kong 94 was one of them. And like F-Zero X is another one, but especially like NBA Street Volume 2, and specifically Volume 2, is just like, I feel like it's the perfect sports game. Because like I grew up playing a lot of like NBA Jam, like all the the Super Nintendo ports of Jam, Tournament Edition, and then like N64 Hang Time. But then like Jam got into this weird place where you had a 5-on-5 simulation version on the N64. License got all fractured weird. And then Midway, who had made NBA Jam, ended up making Hang Time and then Showtime NBA on NBC, which was okay. And there's still like all 2-on-2. And then out of nowhere, like EA came up with this like extreme sports label in the early 2000s, EA Big, that like was just absolutely crushing it with like SSX Tricky, more importantly, and SSX 3. And this is all in the Tony Hawk era also.
Right.
And then NBA Street comes out. There's also a FIFA Street and NFL Street. They're fine. And
the NFL Street was their answer to Blitz, right?
Right, exactly. Blitz had gone off the rails because Midway.
Gone by this time.
It's probably contemporary. They lost the NFL license because NFL didn't want to be about concussions, even though they absolutely marketed themselves on that. And like beating up people.
Done.
Right. So they had like a licenseless version of Blitz where you could send cocaine and hookers and strippers to like the opposing team. Like that was the simulation part in between games. And which is funny
because wasn't Ricky Williams on the cover of NFL Street?
Yeah, and that's a great 30 for 30, the Ricky Williams 30 for 30, by the way.
I guess cocaine wasn't his drug of choice, but speaking of just drug
the boy loved his weed and he got paid millions of dollars and he got drummed out of the league millions of dollars. But yeah, because NFL Street was like flag football. And it was even like you get to half field and then you keep going. And that was fine. But in NBA Street was just like, if you loved NBA Jam, but wanted nuance, but also not the amount of nuance that NBA 2K and NBA Live were giving you at the time, then Street was the game for you. Midway also had its own series, NBA Ballers, that they alternated years with Street with, because Ballers would come out one year and then Street would come out the other year from EA. I never played Ballers though, outside of an E3 demo. I don't know how it is, but Street.
I don't think anybody really did because I don't think that series lasted long.
Right. I mean, sports games are supposed to be kind of ephemeral. Like they're not like We were just talking about this before the show, but like I do legitimately was concerned. Like I'm offering Mike a show, like a sports game, a licensed sports game to be on this retro game show, which usually doesn't happen. Most retro gamers aren't really like that interested in sports games, but NBA Street, and I'm like, okay, well but it's also like a 22-year-old game from like the PS2 era. Like, how is this actually going to hold up? Like compared to like, like no one's doing a podcast based on Madden 2004, even though Madden 2004 honestly was like one of the better ones, and actually I think it was more fully featured than like modern Madden, or at least Madden of the last generation, where it had like a crazy franchise mode, and it had just like the amount of like features that were in Madden 04 were like insane. Like the sports games of that year were just crazy as they were about to get on the internet, but like like no one's. I had Madden 99 on N64. I played a ton of it with my dad, but I'm never going to do a podcast about Madden 99 or even like Griffey Baseball for Super Nintendo.
I thought about that one.
I love Griffey Baseball. Right.
A lot of times.
What about what's the EA? Because this was the peak of EA, I think. That because there's a baseball game 2004 or 5, the triple play baseball. Like that's the one that everyone is like, this is the one like that is worth going back to. So this is kind of the era. The PS2, GameCube, Xbox era is like when sports games are kind of at their peak in terms of like they are able to create what is essentially like the graphics look good, like, and you can do all the gameplay stuff. Like you don't have to like fake it like they've done for every generation up to now.
Right. Yeah, because like I remember like playing like Madden 95 or Madden. It was QB Club 98 was the first one for 64. Like we actually have logos on the helmets, and like that's how like bad, not bad, but like that's how like not there they were, but like they were getting there. Like technically, and NBA 2K was really coming into its own from the Dreamcast, and then on to,
the first 2 years like looked amazing at the time.
That was a game. That was a GameStop Funko Land kiosk game that I played a lot of. Was NBA 2K. That was a hell of a lot of fun. NFL 2K was also the time. We're going off on a tangent, but EA basically like the next year. It was the next year after this. NFL 2K released itself for like $20. They're like, we're gonna get people in on like the drug model. Mm-hmm. That's another one that like people that might be like a big sports game. I'm not a huge fan. ESPN NFL. It came out for $20 brand new, which games did not do in 2004. And they're like, Xbox 360's coming out next year. We'll get people hooked on this $20 game, and then when we hit the next gen, you'll charge $60, and we'll undercut Madden. And Madden was like hell you will. We're going to lock up the license and ruin NFL football games forever with no competition. And they did that. And then in retaliation, somebody took the MLB license away from EA. And that's why Triple Play got killed, was because of that Madden deal.
I think Sony bought MLB license, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was definitely the Wild West in terms of like they, and it's also you were getting 3 or 4 basketball games like this year, which is crazy considering now we get one and it's like half finished when at release date, and they're like, "Don't worry, we'll patch it. It'll be ready like a month after it released."
I know, yeah, because what was there? Was there probably 2K Live, and so there were simulation games, and then there were arcade games, like that were like goofy, like not realistic arcade games.
But that's
not just one simulation game, but multiple. Because like now 2K is like, this is everything for everyone. We have an arcade mode that you can play online, 3-on-3 crazy basketball. If that's what you want to do, we will nickel and dime you for it, and it will be annoying. But they have like a special playground area that's like just for 3-on-3 and just for like crazy moves. And I hate it. I never go in there.
Okay.
But like 2K's had it for like a decade in terms of like they call it, I think they used to call it the cages. I don't know if they still do. But it was like a part of their like park ecosystem of online that was just arcadey 3-on-3, which I will say, I mean, once we talk a little bit more about the game itself, the gameplay on defense especially, I'm like, this hasn't aged the best.
No, it hasn't.
I liked it actually. Once I got into the game and I understood it, I had no problem with it.
It's okay, but it's exactly what people complain about. Because and I know y'all are not part of the 2K community, and that's fine. You're better off not being part of it. But the thing everybody complains about, especially this year, they've added more this year, which again, it's like the one thing that I don't think 2K is wrong to do. Like they nickel and dime, they charge, it costs you like $300 of real American dollars to max out your player. Or you can just play like 1,000 hours.
Oh, okay, that's also a little bit ridiculous, but all right.
It's crazy how much they like it. Even, I came back to the series during COVID, but even 5 years ago, it was like 200 hours to max out your player. And then now they're like, no, we're going to make it like 4 or 5 times that much. Seems criminal to me. But the one thing that the super players are always mad at is they added more of a RNG element, which is like every time you shoot a shot in 2K, it's like rolling an invisible set of 100 percentile dice. And if you get a low enough number, even if your shot is good, even if you're open, even if you have your little, your timing and all of that, there's still a chance you could miss. And the 2K players think that this is a crime and that Ronnie 2K should be sent to prison because he doesn't let them hit 100% of their shots.
So you're telling me that's the reason I'm losing to my son is because the RNG and
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the RNG. But that's what you blame. You blame lag. You blame RNG. But it's crazy. But the thing in this game is that it's so obvious when you're playing defense that you hit the steal button and it's just like they have like a multiplier with what your steal rating is. Or like I don't even know, they might even subtract if you have like a 1 or a 0. And there's just a chance you do nothing and your guy just runs past you and dunks on your head. And you're just okay.
I couldn't steal the ball for the life of me. My solution was one to jump and block, or what my better solution is pick good players that could block and let them let the AI do it.
Exactly. So you're
That's
just
what
like
I did most of the time.
You're relying on the AI RNG because it's still a random on whether you get a block or not. It seems like there's still a chance, even on the higher difficulties, where they'll just slip past you, and you're just like, how is that not a block? But if you roll badly, they just get past you.
It wasn't too bad on easy with a few maxed out characters.
Oh yeah, once you get stretch, on the campaign, it's a lot easier.
I did not like this game during my first couple matches. I'm like, oh god, am I even going to be able to play this? I was just not, and I'm using save states, and I still lost the game because I just couldn't stop them. And then I got stretched, and I'm like, oh, now I can just play through this game, and then the game just became fun, and it just became more and more fun as I understood it and got better players, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah, because what it is like, so we played is it called the Be a Legend mode? Yes. Where you so NBA Street, you're thinking if you're not familiar with it, it's not like a standard basketball game or like even NBA Jam. It's not played on like regular basketball courts. It's played on street courts. It's also played like on historical courts, like Rucker Park and other places around the country. But like a very interesting nuance of the Be a Legend mode is it allows the nuance and like the complexity, not just be an arcade game, of you get to boost the stats of your player. So like Tony Hawk, when you get money, you add to like your stats. So you can boost your rebounding, your handles for like your tricks. You can do tricks to do multipliers. You can boost your dunks, your block, all those things. And so even though it is like very much like not like Madden or NBA 2K in terms of like its realism of the game, you're still like having more complexity than say NBA Jam because you are boosting your players. And your player is like gets like notably better as the game goes on, and that makes you feel better when suddenly you're like, I'm just doing tricks like a motherfucker all over this place, as it goes on, and it just feels so good when you feel like good, and so it has that like really good arc that you're like doing like crazy multipliers. And then the funniest thing that I love about the game is when you beat an opposing team, you get to take one of their players if you so choose, like a Pokemon to your roster. You're only allowed 5 people on your roster. It's 3-on-3. But you're like, you know what? I'm taking Stretch. I know he's your best player. He's now on my team. Stretch is a really tall dude. He blocks. He dunks. He's awesome.
He has like a 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's like a Dr. J street ball player. They create a few like original street ball like legends that you can recruit. And he's like the first one in volume 2.
Yeah.
And so then there's like
the game.
And then there's like fake people, like James. But then there's real players like you can get like, I got like Rick Fox. And I got Tony Parker on my team for a little bit. You play it later, Allen Iverson. I didn't in this playthrough because I didn't have the time to like play enough. But at one point, I recruited Bill Russell onto my team.
Yeah.
And Bill Russell I don't know if you know who Bill Russell is, Mike. Do you know who Bill Russell is?
He was the last guy you play in this game. That's how I know him. But
he won like 11 championships in the 50s and 60s for
Lakers,
the Celtics.
right?
Celtics. For the Celtics. He was like the first black man to win Coach of the Year. He marched with Dr. King, like just all like major like social figure. But I first knew him as the best blocker in all of NBA Street Volume 2. So like it's okay if you ban Yao. Y'all don't know about Bill Russell yet. Bill Russell is the blocking king. And I feel like anything that got past him, like it was just bam, bam, bam. So like when I see Bill Russell in like documentaries, and then when he passed, I feel like this super huge attachment to him. Like he is my best friend and he is my ace in the hole. And I feel like the crazy thing about NBA Street is that it is like also teaching you basketball history and connecting in a way that like not necessarily watching like a YouTube documentary about Russell's era of the Celtics could ever give you. It's like, I know explicitly how I would use Bill Russell because he's amazing. And this is how he was in the game.
You're right.
I had Shaq on my team. I played the Lakers at one point in the campaign mode. You had Shaq, Kobe, and I forgot who the other guy was because he didn't matter. And I felt a little bit of pinch of sadness when I saw Kobe on there. I was like, oh.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
I'm
had
from
Shaq
San Antonio. We don't. I mean, now we'll all say we loved Kobe. But I have video of when the Olympics, the walking of the Olympic players at a San Antonio bar, when like this, the USA team like comes out and they're like, everyone's like USA, USA, and then the TV focuses on Kobe and everybody just boos. So I have like tangible evidence that my town hated Kobe. We love him now, but we did not back then. He did rob us of several championships. So
he robbed a lot of teams of several championships.
A lot of people of a lot of championships.
I mean, yeah, it's Derek Fisher in that one game, but
yeah, well, we don't like Derek Fisher either. I don't know how he got that shut off in 0.4 seconds because he didn't, because the refs cheated. But that's okay.
But yeah, so yeah, this is the 2003 season. This is Vince mentioned. This is similar to Tony Hawk in that it is you're playing. I will say the default on the campaign is to 21. I wish it was to 11 because it's a little bit too long.
Yeah, I know, especially because there's like things where it's like to unlock the next thing, you need to win this on this level like 7 times, and I'm like, hard pass. Like I don't want to do that today. I don't. Yeah.
Even though you probably would lose more on the medium and hard difficulties with faster games, I think the games are a little too long. But you are playing not just the score, you're also playing your combo meter. Like once you get your trick meter filled up, you get a game breaker, and that's kind of like the secret to winning the game.
Did you, Mike? Did you ever unlock Game Breaker to level 2?
I had to for one mission.
Oh, it forces you. It teaches you that. It's like a tutorializes that.
You can't win the match until you get a Game Breaker 2. I had to Google how do I hold a Game Breaker because I didn't know what to do. You kind of select when you have the ball, and then you can hold it, and you can get a level 2. But yeah, no, the game made me learn.
Yeah, because you have like a trick counter, and like Tony Hawk, like if you do the same trick over and over again, you don't get you don't get as high of a multiplier, and you build it up. And unlike getting on fire in NBA Jam, you build a Game Breaker, and I think I don't remember if it's plus 2 points for a dunk and minus 1 for them.
Where you shoot it, it can still be plus 1 point, but if you do long range, it's plus 2 point. And then they always lose a point when you do it.
Yeah.
But the Game Breaker 2 is plus 2 for you, minus 3 for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never actually. Well, also a game never went long enough for it to matter for me.
Yeah, I was starting to really build it up so I could at least make sure that I did it.
He made me do it
because you also have to win. You also have to win by 2, which is like like in like tennis rules where you can't just win by 1, and that made some games go on way too long back in the day.
That's how I lost. I had one loss because I was cheating in this game too. I was using safe states constantly because it's me. Why not? And so I had a blast. So who cares? But like one time I just couldn't get ahead of 2 because I could not block. This is like my third match or second match. And I'm like, fuck it. I'll just take the loss because I still get some experience for my character. And then I just didn't let them score. And so I would always stay ahead. And I learned how to score every time. Just the way the way I played this game, when I would sit there and do tricks, I'd get a combo, and then one of my guys would jump up, and I would just have him dunk. Because I actually did not know how to dunk until like the last 20 minutes. I figured out how to do it while playing this game.
Really?
I played a tutorial, but I forgot.
Yeah, there's ways to tee them up with the D-pad to make them also do alley-oops all the time.
Yeah.
If you pick characters that have a high dunk meter, like Stretch, they'll just do it all the time.
Yeah. But also if you press, I think, left or right, it'll also set it up for him.
Yes, I never did that, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's also like a very basic just call for pick button. So like I maxed out my character shooting and I would just call for a pick, do like double trick through the pick, and then shoot a 3-pointer. And you're just like, this is every time. Like I'm just going by threes. We're not here to mess around.
That's amazing.
I didn't even realize till later in the game that you could shoot for long distance and get more points. I found out by accident because they did it to me.
You still get combos. Like you can still, if you do like a trick combo and just pass it to someone and they immediately shoot, you still get the combo. So it's just like they have to be open, or like I said, if you set a screen and you just do like the little like one way, the other like rock move through the screen, and the guy guarding you falls over, then you just shoot the 3 as soon as you're open. And if you have a maxed out shot or close to it, you just make it 75 or 80% of the time. So
because I had not Biggie Smalls. His name was Biggie something, and he was like a maxed out 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
I love all the random creative characters in this game too.
That's another street character I remember. It was the Biggie character, because he's a little white guy, right?
Oh, he's a little black guy, but he's real tiny.
He black? Yeah.
Are you talking about the guy that like steals like constantly? He's one of the bosses in quotations that you play in this game.
Yeah, he's a boss. Yeah, then there's the girl. I think the girl boss also has maxed out steals.
Yeah, she's
she's crown on him. Yeah,
I didn't use her long, but yeah, I had her on my team. I didn't like the steals. I rather had the blocks because steals just didn't seem to really work as well. At least not for me when I was controlling them. Right. So I just went with whoever could block.
Yeah, steals were much more reliable in NBA Jam than they were in this game.
Yeah, there's no NBA Jam shove button or whatever.
What a time to be alive.
I mean, you can still shove people, like, pretty much. Like, whenever time I block, you can just knock them on the ground.
Yeah. Or when
that's illegal in NFL or NBA.
Oh,
right?
there's no goaltending either.
No, there's definitely no goaltending. And yeah, you'll come down with a rebound and your character will just like throw their elbows around and like not down anyone who's like landed next to them. Like, yeah, you can't do that.
See, I know nothing about basketball because I could care less normally. That was also weird. Like, Vince, like you pitched a basketball game and like I was yelling at this game near the end of it. I was sitting in a room by myself talking to the computer. That's not me.
Well, the thing is like I feel like sports games of the 80s and 90s didn't give a shit if you were actually a sports fan. They were like, these are just like fun, like multiplayer games. Like Blades of Steel was awesome. It's just like I didn't care about hockey, but I definitely liked punching people and I liked getting a little, it's basically like a shooter at that point. And I feel like sports games kind of lost the plot at some point. Like right after the PS2 era, they forgot that they could be for everybody and not just sports fans. And so that's why I think the PS. Yeah, but I think EA Big just in general got it.
But I do
SSX 3 is so good.
I do think this does a good job. Like this is a lot deeper than NBA Jam.
Oh, 100%.
NBA Jam, there's not a whole lot to it. Like it's just an arcade. Like it's fun, but there is real strategy to this game. Like especially if you're playing with people, I will say the AI on easy is pretty easy, but it does get harder. And if you're playing with people, like being able to store a game breaker and to do all that stuff, like it's fun. Like it holds up really well as far as like it's a fun multiplayer game because there is some strategy to it without being like too complicated. Again, it's not NBA 2K current generation where it's just like it's this sort of incredibly annoying thing. And again, like the game, one of the reasonable complaints, not like the random number generator thing, but one of the reasonable complaints about 2K today is that so much of it is just like canned animations where it's just like, oh, since you put enough money into your character being good at steals, you just pressing the button will make your character like run across the court and take the ball away from the guy and just like sprint back the other way. And you're just like, I don't know how you did that. Like, it doesn't make sense that you're able to do this.
Because I tapped out of like 2K, like around like 2K11, because I got like the instruction manual and it looked like a Street Fighter, like with all the different like combinations of like, if you move the stick this way and then you do this, then you'll do this type of dunk. And if you move your stick this way, we're all like Street Fighter moves, or maybe at least that's how
it is literally like that as far as like dribble moves. I mean, like the tricks that are in 2K are just like regular now. Like that's all in just a regular 2K. Like they're not to the same crazy. You're not doing the like fall over crossovers and stuff. that you do in this game, but it's just like it is very similar in that yes, you still have to do like combos basically with your right analog stick to like do these crazy dribble moves. It's completely it's wild that this is, and also it's so finicky sometimes because it'll be like you actually you press down on the shooting stick, so you actually meant to shoot it, not do the dribble move you're in the middle of, and you're just like, why? It can be very finicky. So
That's too much.
I do, yes. This is a good sweet spot. I do like that there is skill involved without it being like too much as far as the dribble moves. It is fun to see like Shaq or Yao or whoever do like the like spin crossover, behind the back, and then giant dunk where you're just like, sure, they could do this if they really wanted to.
And wasn't and one already gone at this point? Like the NBA street ball stuff?
I don't even know. And one is still around. It's like a Walmart.
Yeah, but
but not the videos.
They sold themselves. They're not what they once were. I mean, the and one like mixtape tour, I think, was done at this point.
Yeah, I feel like was there an and one like PS1 game or something?
There was a PS2 game and one street ball. I'm looking it up.
Oh, that's crazy.
I watched a lot of documentaries, and I watched a whole documentary about and one, so I kind of knew a little bit of like. I was like, oh, I know where some of this came from, and sort of. Yeah.
I don't think this game has, because I think he was a backup at the time. But it is funny because like all those guys would be on these documentaries being like, well, actually, I was better than these players in the NBA. But the one who actually was in the NBA, Rafer Alston, he was his street ball nickname was Skip to My Lou because he would skip the ball up the court. He was in the NBA. I don't think he's in this game, which is a shame. But he is in Volume 3 because I think he's either on the Rockets or the Bucks, I think. But he's on some team where it's just like he was in the NBA. It's just he wasn't like a star in the NBA because it's actually very hard.
Okay. I knew a little bit, and that was also something I was thinking about too. Like there's actually a documentary on YouTube that I found about the creation of this game that somebody made where they interview a bunch of the creators and stuff. I learned a lot about this game where the guy who did that famous Nike commercial where all they do is play street ball, or they just dribble the ball for, like 30 seconds, and that's all it is, and then it says Nike at the end. The guy who made that was one of the producers that they got involved in this game because he understood street ball culture.
Yeah, I feel like this game is definitely like of the era, like street ball culture mixed with like a 70s pastiche.
Yes.
More than and it works really, really well for the game. And
the music. Like, I am not normally a hip hop fan at all. Like, it's just not me. Mm-hmm. But in this game, I was enjoying this music a ton, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice!" Like, everything worked.
EA's soundtracks were insane then. Like, because like Burnout 3 had a great soundtrack, Madden had a great soundtrack then, SSX did. They're just paying out.
And they realized you can't
music.
ever re-release the game when you do that. So
I mean, it was already licensed. It was going to be kind of an uphill battle.
But that was also before they thought they would re-release games, because that really wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
Like it is now, where you want them back.
I'm sure it would be hard to re-release it, but it's a great soundtrack. It is funny, like the NBA 2K, I think it's gotten worse in the last, maybe I'm just old and I don't like pop music anymore. But like it's been a thing in 2K that they've had really good music pretty consistently, where even if the game is bad, you're like, well, at least like like probably 15 years, maybe not 15, probably 12 years ago, they had Jay-Z mix it, and so they had like several.
Wasn't he a producer on the game?
Yeah, so they have these crazy, and then they had Snoop Dogg like write a song about NBA 2K, and you're just like, what is going on? So it is very cool, that the musical side of it, and this does have a very fun soundtrack. I was saying before we started recording, I do wish that you could, like the way we can today with most games, turn down the like ambient noise, because there is just so much just like barking, like it's just noisy.
You mean like DJ Cucumber? Because that's his name, actually.
I mean partially him, but partially just the noises in the game.
Like dogs barking at the park.
Yes,
the game
I liked it. Like, I played most of this game with sound. There were a couple of times when the sound was off, because it's me, but it didn't last long. I really enjoyed the sound. Like, I didn't even get tired of all the stupid quips. I can't remember them now because I beat this game like over a week and a half ago. But the quips were just hilarious. Even though I would hear them, like, I heard, some dozens of times. I would say it with him. Who am I talking to? Nobody, but I'm sitting here just repeating the stuff.
It is
hilarious.
They took advantage. This was the first time that they had the DVD format and they had a lot more memory. There is a lot more commentary than games had previously to that. So it is fun. You still hear the same stuff, but like in a game, if you just pick up and play for like 2 games, you might hear the same thing once. Like it's not you're not hearing he's on fire like you would an NBA Jam. Like
It wasn't too bad I played this game nonstop pretty much. I'm not sure how many hours I put into it, but it must have been like I would say 8 to 9 hours of this game I was playing. So, and I didn't really get tired of it.
Yeah,
and I would hear the same thing over and over again because of save states too sometimes. So, still didn't get tired of it.
Did you guys ever play MLB Slugfest in this era? That was Midway's like baseball like blitz or jam kind of version. And they had like it felt like straight up like podcasts. Because, baseball commentary, they just go off like meandering, like telling stories. Like they just have like a running commentary of like this drunk talking through the whole game of baseball, just doing comedy bits like the entire time, like a bad ESPN baseball broadcast.
What else you doing a baseball game?
And I played at least like 6 or 7 games of that recently, and they didn't repeat a single like bit at all. It was really weird. I don't know how they did it. I don't know where that data's being stored.
One fun fact, like how there's like the announcer has a lot of comments about food in this. Apparently in the documentary, in the interview, the guy's like, "Why are you talking so much about food?" He's like, "I'm hungry, man." And that's all it was. He was just hungry, so he kept coming up with like food things, and they went and got him lunch.
This is like a hamburger without the cheese.
Yes, I don't know what it just everything fits so well. It was just so much fun, and I didn't really do a lot of dribbles. I didn't do a lot of tricks. I didn't really understand how the turbo worked. I just
have your hand on the turbo all the time.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you had fun with it.
I had
no expectations. I came into this with none. I was like, why not? Vince has done a lot of games with me. Hey, why not? Let's do something different that the show doesn't have. It has one sports game sort of as a Mario Golf. That's it.
Yeah, that's a great game. I was sad I wasn't on the episode. That game's great.
Which one?
Mario Golf, the GBA one.
64 or okay.
The RPG one. That one's crushed. That one's amazing.
That was a good game too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't like basketball games. Like you would never see me play NBA Live, nothing, just because I don't care about any sports simulation game. But
right.
I don't even care about it. I actually never played NBA Jam in my life. I've never touched it.
Really?
I
played a ton of that, and it was pretty. It was not as advanced on the Super Nintendo as the arcade version. And then EA, Chris, you were saying EA actually they got the NBA Jam license and the Blitz license and made like downloadable versions for the Xbox 360 and also like disc versions. Yeah, disc versions for the Wii. But me and my son still have the NBA Jam Xbox 360 game, which he plays a ton, or he used to, on Xbox Series X. And it's like 5 or 6 years after this, also made by EA. And it's fine, but it is also like there's no stat progression, there's no character progression, there's no tricks. It's just straight up NBA Jam. And like coming off a Street's in that sweet spot of like it's got a lot of like complexity, but at the same time like not the simulation complexity, and still remembers to like be like really like weird and goofy.
And arcade, the fact that my character was growing throughout the entire game, the fact that there was a progression, that there was a map that unlocked new events, and
your team was getting better.
Yep. Yeah, like that all pushed me just to keep playing. Like I actually, even before I realized that you have to go to an event and play like 3 or 4 pickup games in order to complete the event, I was just playing it because I'm like, well, I just feel like it.
Right, as opposed to like NBA Jam, which the best thing you have is beat all the other teams. Like that was the only like story mode of it.
The fact that this had story, this had boss fights, essentially, like that's what kept me coming, and that's why I had that goal to finish it. The only time I got irritated that the game didn't explain it, and I had to find a freaking YouTube video of it to explain it, was when you do all the events. If you're not at 5 stars, you'll be 10 reputations short, and you won't know what to do, and you have to win pickup games from the last set that you unlock in order to get your reputation up, so you can then unlock the final tournament.
Interesting.
Yeah, I heard there were.
Find it.
I remember there was something hard about that. I never did it back in the day.
It's not
a lot of
hard. It's just the information. The game doesn't tell you what to do, and if you play like older pickup games, you won't earn any rep. You won't earn any rep. And the only so like I went and Reddit threads, and they were kind of giving me mixed signals. They said, yeah, just play a couple games, and I did it. Or I played this tournament and it worked. And then I finally found a YouTube video where the guy's like, yeah, I was doing a Let's Play. This happened to me. This is what you had to do. I had to go to the last pickup game that I did, like in New York or something, beat that, and then I got my rep. To get my rep all the way up.
So interesting. It's like that's obscured.
It was too. I mean, to me, but again, it was PS2 jank where something wasn't explained to you that should have been explained to you.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so interesting.
I was irritated. I'm like, I can't not finish this game. Like, I really want to beat it.
Mm-hmm. And you did.
And I did. And I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, because if we'd been playing NBA Jam, it would be like just play a bunch of games until you're bored, and instead of like it had like a progression.
I need a progression in a game. That's always been me. That's why one reason I'll never touch MMOs again, because they just never end. And I need my game to have a completion point so I can say I beat the game and I can be done with it and move on and feel like I did something. I can't do games that don't have that anymore. It's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't do it. If your game doesn't have an ending, I don't want to start it.
It's so funny. Yeah, I love this game. I think, and I'm not. It's the part of the PS2 era, and I know like EA has historically gotten like a lot of guff about being like just a very boring, safe developer. But I feel like during the PS2 era, they were doing like a lot of really cool things. Like and into the beginning of the Xbox 360 era, where they like when they bought like BioWare and put out Mass Effect 2. Like through then, like they making Dead Space. But like specifically in this era, like the EA's sports big label is like really good. They all have like one game on the 360. This one had the 4th NBA Street home court, which somehow lost the plot. I'm not sure exactly what happened. It wasn't as fun. It lost the 70s pastiche. It just wasn't as silly. And it was like a little
for the 90s look or something.
It looked a little 90s-ish. It looked a little more modern. Everybody was a little heavier. It's the same way that like I stopped liking Madden, that everybody got a little too heavy and it got a little too realistic. Like it missed that balance of like realistic play and silly play.
This one is almost cell shaded a little bit.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like a realistically shaded. Like it looks like you're playing on like, and I haven't played it, and like it was one of the first games I bought for my 360. I'm like, hell yeah, there's more.
Oh, I mean this game, Street 2.
Yeah, no, this one is definitely Street. The 4th Street home court kind of like loses the plot, but
I'm not surprised.
It's the whole like big label just kind of burned out. They have Def Jam Fight for NY and the Def Jam Vendetta. That was a great label. Great. That was just like a bunch of rappers fighting like in a wrestling game made by like the people who made wrestling games.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the engine from No Mercy, the WWF
it's like hockey or something, right?
Yeah, from N64. Yeah.
Yeah, what a time. But yeah, like I mean, they were making like those James Bond video games at the time, the Lord of the Rings games. EA was doing some crazy things back then, and it was. And this was like I think like the peak of like all sports games for me, like in terms of like classic sports games. And Mike, you said you're not a basketball fan, but I don't feel like it's that different than like soccer or hockey. It's basically like get a ball in a
I'm not a sports fan at all.
Yeah, Rocket League.
Only time I care about sports is when a Minnesota team is in the playoffs and they're doing good, and then that's all. And my attention span lasts until they're out, which usually doesn't take very long before they choke, unless you're right. Other than that, we suck. My attention span doesn't usually have to last long for sports.
Yeah, because what do y'all have, a hockey team in like the Wild now? We stole the Stars from y'all.
Yeah, we have the Wild. They were in the playoffs. I don't know if they still are, but they were. No, they're out. I'm pretty sure they're out. Yeah, I don't follow any sports. I mean, I follow Vikings to a degree, but now it's really just I go on ESPN. Hey, did they win or lose today? Oh, they won. Oh, cool. They lost. Oh well. And that's usually how it goes.
Until they fell apart in the playoffs.
But, I was going to say, the Viking season
got a lot of money.
Viking season is to win like 10 or 11 games and then lose in the first round.
Yep.
That's pretty accurate. So I don't really. I have no. The only time I had hope was the year that we had the Super Bowl in Minnesota. I had hope that Vikings were going to make it. I was actually near that Super Bowl because I was working at an event at the Super Bowl event that they have there. I was working at, so I got to like be at a booth and see some of the players, and it was pretty damn cool and get paid to be there. So
I recall that. My first World Series I ever watched was when the Twins won. And I saw Kirby Puckett get it.
Time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was Kirby Puckett made a triple, which I don't know how he made a triple. I may have misremembered that, but because I was like, how is this dude? I've never seen a triple in real life. And Kirby Puckett was didn't look like a fast man, but he got a triple somehow.
My wife loves Puckett and the other guy, but I don't remember his name from that time because her father was a big fan of those two. But I love can't remember your guy's name. but that's irrelevant right now. I don't know. I mean, I guess I found out for me to get me to play your sports game, I just need to have a story mode, and I need it to be goofy. Like I was
You
looking
need
at home
RPG.
court.
You need RPG
I do.
stats is what you need.
I think. I mean, it sounds like NBA Live has that for me, or 2K, whatever the hell it is now. But I'm good.
Yeah, they kind of do. You create a character, like the main mode everyone uses is you create a character, and then you either spend money or spend a bunch of time every day, like building your character up little by little.
I play Marvel Snap. They get enough money. I don't need another live service game.
I know it's a live service game where they also charge you $60 to $80 for it.
See, Marvel Snap just charges me $15 a month. That's all. Yeah. Too much. But yeah, I play every day, so I can't complain too much. I'm part of the problem. But no, once I got stretched, like I was saying, the game just became like super fun. I just I wasn't bored. Like even when I had to replay matches and do things, and I was trying to the only time I was annoyed is when I didn't know how to get the rep up for that little bit. Other than that, I was fine. I got the hang of how the game worked. I also never passed. I didn't pass very much, except for when they were.
Oh, really?
Didn't need to on easy.
Like I said, I'm just glad you had fun.
So did your in your creative character? Did you make him? Do you make him your real height, or do you make him like giant?
I didn't. I just picked one of the pre-selected things or something.
Oh, you didn't make a little Mike Albertin?
No, the guy I had to look at me a little bit, but no, I didn't even notice the height, or I would have messed.
Oh, really?
It.
I make a my height and my weight always, and so I'm like always very tiny.
I mean, if it was my weight,
I'm
it'd be a big guy
6'1",
running
but
down
I'm
the
still
court.
relatively tiny.
I had to split the difference because I was just like, I have to be the middle height. I'm not going to shrink myself. I'm not going to lose 2 inches. So I had to be like the LeBron James size, like 6'8" or 6'7" or whatever, like forwards. So guard size is actually shorter than me. I don't want that.
I did pick Kevin Garnett for 1 point just because I knew he played the Timberwolves probably around this time.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He was with them at that time.
Yeah, and then he left and won a championship with the Celtics.
Well, it's because he wasn't going to get past Tim Duncan.
Yeah. Well, also his general manager wasn't allowed to draft players for 2 or 3 seasons because of tampering.
Oh, really?
So the Timberwolves weren't allowed to really be competitive for a couple of the years of the Kevin Garnett era.
Oh, damn. That probably why he left too, then?
I think that's part of it. Is they had that 1 year with Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell when they were good, which I don't think they're on this team. I think that was later.
Ooh,
but
when was Spree? When was he? He was in the league because he choked a coach.
Yes, he choked the Golden State Warriors coach in the 90s.
PJ, and then I think he came back, and I think both Latrell and PJ were on the Spurs together. They worked it out. Was
Sprewell on the Spurs?
I want to say he was. Now I don't know.
I only know a couple players, because I'm from Milwaukee and I knew the Bucks because I knew Ray Allen because a friend of mine was a big Bucks fan. Was Sam Cassell in the Bucks? That name sounds really familiar.
He was, yeah. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. He won a championship with the Rockets his rookie season.
He did. Yeah, Spree was not, by the way, on the Spurs.
I didn't mess with
consider getting him.
Any of the NBA, you could actually play NBA teams. I didn't mess with any of that because
not on this playthrough. We did.
It's only fun to steal players. That part is fun. I did immediately steal. Who did I steal? Someone from. I did the tournament. I didn't finish the game this time, but I did the Philadelphia tournament. I did the second tournament wherever you start getting NBA players involved, and I stole someone who I was like, oh, I know who they are.
Oh, I didn't see many people. I know very little about basketball, so I didn't really see people I knew. I never saw Michael Jordan in this game. I know he's in this game, but I never saw him.
He is in the game, but it's Washington Wizards Michael Jordan, which they should have had throwback 1980s Michael Jordan.
Why? I laugh when it said Michael Jordan 1984 to present. I'm like, yeah, not really, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did he retire after this year, or did he play 1 year while LeBron was in the league?
I don't remember if he played one more. I know he played with Kobe when he's on the Wizards, where he was again 41 years old.
Yeah, he's too old.
Where yes, he's LeBron's age now, but I don't know if he played.
He retired right after this. He retired in the end of the 2003 season, so he completely missed the LeBron era. Yeah, he missed LeBron. But yeah, and it's crazy. He scored 20 points a game that season too. But yeah, that's the version. They do have in the 2K games. They will have the legends. You can play the 80 some Bulls or whatever. You can play different versions of him, which cool. I feel like is something they should have done on this.
I'm
to
have
they
didn't.
Yeah, that would have been just think about if you had like 80s Michael Jordan, 80s Charles Barkley, like 80s Larry Bird or something like that. That would be awesome. Like to just play like three legends together, like in their young form.
And then you could swipe them to be on your team.
Yes, that would be awesome.
But then you have the challenge because you beat that super team, but you're only allowed to pick one player, like a Pokemon.
You beat them 3 times.
Yeah. So if you're a guard, like, oh, do I want Jordan or do I want Charles Barkley?
Yeah, man. Yeah, NBA 2K is really good about having like past teams. Like they'll have like different eras, of like a great version of the team. So they'll have like this championship era of the Spurs, but then also like just all the Spurs All-Stars. It's really cool. I'm sure they have like probably some like a Garnett era T-Wolves, and then probably just like a Garnett and Anthony Edwards team together. Yeah. I'm sure
it is cool. It is funny. Like I've seen on like Instagram, like players will be like, "Why I'm not in the game," and it's just like, yeah, because you wanted more money. That's the answer. Where it's just like, yeah, I get it. You want more than whatever, like $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever they're giving you, but it's like you're not doing any work. Like it's literally they're calling you
your name and your.
Like, hey, do you want your name in the game? We'll give you money. And you're like, no, I want more. They're like, okay, then you're not in the game. We'll give you nothing.
I always feel like like when players retire, they don't remodel them either. So I feel like there's like a few people like Manu who are rolling around with their PS3 character model inside of NBA 2K25.
They're definitely not doing like a full like body scan or whatever they do now. So it's just like whatever they have.
Yeah. So if you retire like in 2016, it's like you're rolling around with your early PS4 model. Yeah.
And your earlier comment, NBA Ballers apparently had 4 games. I did not know that.
You got like a giant mansion. It was like the cool hip hop lifestyle. That was like your rewards. Like that was the campaign.
I don't know anything about this series. I didn't even realize it had this many games.
Yeah.
So I was a little surprised. Yeah. Apparently it made it into the 360 era, then died in 2008.
Yeah,
well, and that's what happened to Street too. They made one game for the 360 PS3, and they're like, "That's it."
The whole big label died, though.
That's true. It's not like it's just because of this game. Yeah, I feel like Vince was talking about it. It's like EA was growing and growing in the PS2 era, and then they realized like, no, we really just need like cash cows. Like we need a few like consistent money.
Oh, it's not EA, sorry.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what EA decided they needed. Is like we need to stop like venturing into new things. We need like consistent success. And they got very boring in the Xbox 360 era.
College football game was really good. NCAA was really good during the PS2 era also.
Yeah.
One of those was worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it still is now that they're making new ones. They made one last year after they finally.
My son plays the crap out of that.
I know there was one that was worth a ton of money.
Yeah.
I used to be a huge 360 collector. Huge.
Yeah, I feel like that was for the 360 or PS3, right? That was like 12 or something.
It basically NCAA college football is what created all this NIL and everything that's in college football now, and all the like players being able to get paid is all because of college EA's college football game. We're like, you can't use real players, and EA's like, fine, I guess. Because they're supposed to be athletes, you're not supposed to pay them. You can't profit off of them. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're not making the game anymore. And then all these like legal laws, basically, to bring back college football to the PS5, they had to change the entire pay structure of collegiate athletes, and they did.
Yeah,
and it's pretty. My son plays the crap out of that game. Before he would watch like just. People would do ROM hacks of the last NCAA college football. It was like 2012, 2013. Of them like ROM hacking in like current players into it, and he would watch YouTube videos of that constantly. Wow. So that was that. That had a big game. I don't know if NBA Street Volume 2 has like a huge scene of people hacking in new players into the game every year.
I don't think so, but there are a lot of YouTube videos of people talking about how great this game is and how this is like one of their favorite basketball games ever.
It's crazy. It's not the last one. It's not the first one.
Or the third one. It's this one.
It is really good presentation. I mean, like the whole thing, like it's so much better than the first one. The first one is very bare, but like the first one is basically an upgraded NBA Jam. This one is so much deeper, and like the presentation is so much better with like the commentary and like just everything about it is so good comparatively. I think 3, I haven't played it in a long time, but I remember 3 being like, yeah, it's like an annual release now, where it's just like, it's 2.5 basically, where they didn't really change that much, but 2 is really good. So like, why?
Right.
Money. I mean, PS2, you get away with it. So
Well, and I mean, to be
You
fair, like
really
Chris
could.
said, like all these like amazing players weren't in this game that suddenly came into the draft class. Like they were all drafted in the league like 2 months after this game came out.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Iverson is in this game. I know that's earlier.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know much about him because he was. I was in high school at the time this game came out, so I knew of him because people talked
Right.
about him. But I was kind of I was an idiot teenager. So
Yeah. Yeah, he lost to the Lakers in the championship like in 01, I believe, when he was with the Sixers.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I was in middle school in the DC area whenever I think he was going to Georgetown, and there's been a bunch of controversies. Like, he's the reason that the NBA like changed, like they had a dress code basically because of him, because
he was a bad boy, yeah.
Yeah, he got in, like, he brought a gun to a bowling alley. There was some other stuff.
he did some dumb shit.
Yeah, where it's just like this was back, in 2000, 1999, where you could just be incredibly stupid and there was no cell phones to like get you suspended or
And report
fired.
you. Like I was watching a documentary about two different guys. I forget what team it was, but they were in the NBA and they had guns and they got suspended for a year for both of them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
one of them killed their career completely.
Yeah. That's the Washington Wizards. That's that's Gilbert Arenas, and the guy who actually ended up going to jail for murder was the other guy.
Oh yeah, because and it's the one that ruined his career. Oh yeah, I forgot. He murdered somebody too. That didn't help things either.
Yeah, he was out of the league, and then he got robbed, and then someone told him it would be a good idea to like do a drive-by on the guy who robbed him. And he ended up killing someone as part of that, and so he went to jail for murder.
And the other guy, I know he got suspended for a year. It wasn't because he brought a gun to the game like he did. They said he's like, yeah, I was essentially trafficking arms is what I was doing.
Right, yeah, because
he'd go there, buy guns, jump on a plane, and leave, and it was actually gun trafficking.
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas just said in that we're getting off track, but yes, in that Netflix documentary, he's just like, yeah, he went to University of Arizona for college. He would go back to where he was from, buy a bunch of guns, and then put them on the team plane and then fly them home without telling anyone. Where you're like, yeah, I'm sure the NBA was happy about this.
I mean, they could probably get in a lot of trouble for trafficking guns.
I mean, it's not like Kevin Garnett trafficking uncut gems. They made him super lucky, and he almost lost the 2012 championship because Adam Sandler tried to steal back his uncut gems.
I mean, they did lose in that season anyway, so serves him right.
Because Sandler took the uncut gems. Have you seen Uncut Gems, by the way, Mike?
I have not.
A major plot point is that the entire it's a very serious movie, but it sounds like a goofy Adam Sandler movie when you frame it as Adam Sandler gets a massive jewel. Adam Sandler gets a massive jewel, and then Kevin Garnett is convinced that it will make him lucky, so he takes it home with him. And he wins games, and then Adam Sandler's like, I actually have to sell the uncut gems. And so he tries to then steal the gems back from Kevin Garnett. But Kevin Garnett won't give it back. But this is a very serious film that Adam Sandler almost got Oscar nominated for.
And then, he makes a three bet
triple parlay. Yeah. On Kevin Garnett.
On Kevin Garnett, including Kevin Garnett winning the tip-off. It's one of the three things. So it's like really a 50-50 chance you would lose right away.
It's such a good tense movie. It is not a silly Adam Sandler movie. Uncut Gems is so good.
I can't handle Adam Sandler.
Kevin Garnett is great in the film. He's a great actor. He's really good.
He is really. I love how mad he is when he's like, "Oh, it's not for sale." And he's like, "Why would you show this to me?" And good. He's so mad. Like, he looks like he's literally going to throw him through a wall. You're just like, this is real emotion.
What a movie.
Anything else about NBA Street?
I don't really have anything else. It's a great game. Are we gonna do shelf stacking box? Should we do that on these episodes?
Shortly.
Okay, cool.
If you don't have anything else.
No, I don't. I'll have that for my final thoughts then.
No, yeah, I don't have anything else. Like I already said, my one thing is that I think in some ways the arcadey modes of 2K have caught up to it, but it's a ton of fun to go back to. So I had a lot of fun.
All right, and then we'll go to shelf stacker box. I'll go first. I'm putting the shelf. I came in this game with zero expectations, had a blast. I could have kept playing, but I have lots and lots of games to beat, so I had to go on other stuff. But really was fun. I don't play sports games.
I'm glad you liked it. I really am.
I did too, and I was surprised because the only sports games I play usually involve Mario. So
right.
It was nice.
Well, the next one has Mario. The sequel does.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we're going to do 3. I don't think there's a point to do 3, is there?
No. You got the point. Just for Mario. It's sad that there's not like a 5-person team that you get to pick from. It's only the 3 main people. You don't
Does
have
3
like.
even have a Be a Legend mode?
Yeah, it does.
It does, yeah.
It loses a lot of like the 70s pastiche though, the 70s and like cell shaded art style. It doesn't have that, but it's fine. I mean, it's good. I mean, if you have to have at least one NBA Street game, choose this one. But
it's shorter too.
Yeah,
because I found
really?
I think an hour is what I'm seeing on here. Versus,
oh, really?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I could be wrong. It's hard. There's not a lot of like videos. Like Volume 2 had a lot of videos. I'm having a hard time finding anything.
Which again is crazy because LeBron James is in this one.
Yeah.
He's in 3 and not 2.
It's funny. So I will also shelf it. I think I came in thinking like this is one of my favorite games of all time. It's not as probably because I'm not in a college environment, a dorm room environment where I can just play this with friends constantly. So that is missing. You can't go back to that. But other than that, I think it's still a really fun single player sports game that has like a great campaign. It's really fun to play. I think it's really smartly built. It's got a cool vibe. It's great. I love it. I know it's impossible to like re-release a licensed sports game with this much music.
Oh God, yeah,
ever.
Never.
But like if they just made this game and just ROM hacked in current players and maybe like some more legends, like as Chris said, like just throw in like the '80s All-Star teams and stuff, like as an extra mode, it'd be perfect. Like I would never need anything else. That would be my dream. It's still a top 10 all-time favorite game.
And Chris,
I don't know if I'm quite as high on it as Vince, but I do already have it on my shelf. It's right between Metroid Prime 2 and Pikmin on my GameCube games. So I've already decided, I guess, that this is on the shelf. I have not even finished Metroid Prime 2. I have finished Pikmin because it's short. But it's definitely, I would put it above both of those games. It's a lot of fun.
I've never played Prime 2 for some reason yet.
Goes eventually that Switch port is going to come. You just wait. One day it's going to come.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
They probably are, to be honest.
Yeah, they're going to have GameCube games on the Switch 2, aren't they? So maybe they are.
But
if they just put the GameCube game, I'll just play it on my Steam Deck.
I think Prime 3 like teases the villain of Prime 4, and there's no way to play Prime 3 in any released format of the last decade.
I mean, you can play it on
it's on the mouse. It's on the Wii, right?
Yeah, so you can't even like put it on the GameCube like emulator thing because it's got Wii controls.
You can play it on your computer though, just fine.
Yeah, you can play it on your Steam Deck just fine.
You probably could a little bit of tinkering.
I think there was before the Prime 1 Switch port came out, there was Prime Hack on for Steam Deck you could play. I think there's also like Prime on
That's still there.
like the Meta Quest and stuff. I want to say it's on the VR helmets too. It's supposed to be pretty good.
I have the Prime thing on my. It came in my emulation pack. It's still there. I see
it just came. I didn't even know how it got here.
When you install the emulation pack, it's in there.
Nice.
All right, and I guess we should just go to plugs. Vince, where can people find you at?
You can find me on the Some of My Friends Read Comics podcast. We come out pretty much every other week, and we are a comic podcast where we cover legendary comics that we probably should have read. So we read like The Death of Gwen Stacy, Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, and then we also
what about
we just had
Sandman?
We covered one episode of Sandman, but my co-host Chris, I think, came on your show to do all of Sandman.
Yeah.
And then we just finished up April Fool's month where we covered legendarily bad comics. So we did Captain America by Rob Liefeld, which fun fact, I actually kind of liked. It wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. So, but you can come check that out at Some of My Friends Read Comics on the audio podcast.
Right. And Chris.
Well, I am also on Some of My Friends Read Comics, but I'm also on Your Stupid Minds. Right now, we have been doing a multi-part series that I call Getting Rid of the DVDs that I've had for years that I purchased as saying this will be a future episode. So we've done quite a few episodes of incredibly irrelevant movies. We covered Galaxis, which was a sci-fi movie with Brigitte Nielsen, where she travels to Los Angeles in the 1990s. We covered The Prince and the Surfer, which is a update of the Mark Twain story, but starring Linda Cardellini right before Freaks and Geeks as a love interest. I was shocked how old she actually was in 1999. And most recently, we covered Born Bad, a movie featuring one of the actors from Clueless and Corey Feldman and some other people doing a botched heist movie that came out in 1997. And to plug what was probably already out by the time that this comes out, we're going to end that series by doing The Love Guru.
You actually owned it? I own it too.
that I purchased for, I believe, 70 cents.
Oh, wow.
And
Sounds
so
about worth it.
we are covering The Love Guru. Vince is going to be on that episode, and he's going to defend The Love Guru and his taste in general.
So good. It's not so good. It is good, though. I do enjoy The Love
That
Guru.
movie with Justin Timberlake?
Oh, yeah.
He's in it.
As Jacques Lecoq. Yep. That's actually...
All right.
This is
What
a
a
movie
movie.
Vince likes.
Starring Stephen Colbert, Jim Gaffigan, Justin Timberlake. What a movie.
Jessica
McGuire's
Alba.
called a lot of favors in, I'll tell you that. It's a hockey movie. You like hockey. You like sports now, Mike. You should check it out.
I like sports documentaries. That's about it. That's as far as my movie goes. If it's about real criminals, then I'm definitely interested. So I like documentaries, sports that have to deal with criminals. I find it super interesting.
OJ Made in America.
Oh, I watched that and another OJ thing all in like a weekend recently while I was editing. I don't know why, but it was really that fucker killed her, no question. But,
100%.
I mean, he wrote a book about it.
I know.
If I did it. No, there's an if in there. It's a big qualifier.
If I murdered her, there's a thing in that documentary that hits me every time, like where his agent at the time had talked to him, and he's like, one day we're sitting there and I asked him, "Did she what happened?" He said, "If she wouldn't have came out with a knife." So
yeah, I mean, he talked about in If I Did It about the other guy doing like a karate before. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just,
All right.
he assumed that guy would do some white guy karate moves.
Yeah, just assumed he wasn't there or anything, you know. What a piece of shit. So, but he's dead now. So good for him.
Yep. like Bill Russell, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he wasn't a piece of shit. So there's a difference.
No.
R.I.P. Bill
No.
Russell.
No. And Bill Walton. Bill Walton on the Portland Trailblazers, I think, is a legend in this game too. Also dead.
I love Bill Walton. Bill Walton, when the Spurs played the Knicks in the finals, Bill Walton said, "This is going to be a worse massacre than the Alamo." That's how he introduced it on NBC. I'll never forget it. Good old Bill Walton.
I really didn't. I didn't have time for him as a teenager. I was like, he's so goofy. I do appreciate him now.
Yep, 100%.
That's a good way to introduce. I mean, especially if you're broadcasting in Texas, I'm sure people get all excited about the Alamo.
Yep, we remember it. There's no basement there, though.
No basis anyway. But all right. So my plugs. If you enjoyed this episode, over 800 other episodes of this podcast. We do movies, TV shows, video games, comics, all sorts of content. If you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon, a little dollar. You vote in our Patreon poll. We have 1 to 2 polls every month. Just depends on if I'm caught up or not. If you want to be a part of the show, if you want to suggest things for the show, I will someday get to. We have a Discord. Please join the Discord. That's where I put openings for the podcast and take suggestions that I someday get to. And great way to lurk and talk with us. So please join the Discord. Want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok, Instagram. Definitely go check her out. And want to give a shout out to a gamer looks at 40 of Bill Tucker, currently talking Final Fantasy. Check out his podcast and check out absolutely the best podcast of Work in Progress. They talk MCU movies and MCU adjacent movies. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.